Join us as we go truck camping in Shenandoah National Park. You're watching the third video of our trip. If you're new here, thanks for watching. As a recap, in our first video, we explored Cuyahoga National Park in Ohio. We saw some waterfalls, did some short hikes, explored local areas, and stayed at a Harvest Host farm. In our second video, we made it to West Virginia and spent some time in Fayetteville and New River Gorge National Park. We saw the famous bridge and other scenic lookouts, did some nice hikes. We stayed at a brewery and a nice campground, and our favorite thing was that we did some paddleboarding at Summersville Lake. Hey everyone, it's Josh, Kate, and Koko. We're currently hanging out in our camper outside of Luray, Virginia, in a Walmart parking lot. I just did some grocery shopping while Kate finished up working for the day. It's our 6th day of our trip, and tomorrow we're going to be headed to Shenandoah National Park. Earlier today, we made the drive to Luray, Virginia, from New River Gorge National Park, where we were staying at our campground. And we basically had a kind of a low-key day. I checked out a little beer garden spot while Kate did a few meetings. I had today off, but Kate had to work. And now pretty soon, in probably like 20 minutes, we'll be heading to a local lake called Lake Arrowhead Park to paddleboard and enjoy the rest of the sunlight. Koko, I think you prefer a colder climate than this. We weren't able to get this stuff to fit yet, so we're gonna have to do some reorganizing of the fridge, but as you can see, it's already pretty full. I've been to Shenandoah National Park with Koko and my parents in May of 2021, so 3 years now, and I really liked it. Kate's really gonna like all the views from Skyline Drive. I hope we have a sunny couple days when we're there, and you can even see part of the mountains from here. I guess if I zoom in, you'll be able to see them a little bit better, but off in the distance, you can already see some mountains. There's even a good view behind the Walmart too. If you're new here, thanks for watching. We don't live full-time out of the Scout, but we are currently on a 2-month road trip, or at least for Kate, she's doing a full 2 months. I'm doing a little less than that because of work. It's coming up on a year of us owning this Scout, and we've really liked it, and we haven't regretted it at all. If you've been following us for long enough, you'll know that before this, we used to have a 4Runner with a roof tent set up, and while that worked really well, when we're trying to work from the road and just go on longer trips, especially when it rains, this just makes it a lot easier. Koko, are you having fun? We're only 15 minutes away from Lake Arrowhead Park, and I'll see you when we get there. This looks really nice here. The lady at the visitor center that I talked to earlier said they stock this and the fishing is really good here. You can kind of see the mountains too. Well, here we are. The lake's behind us. We're going to walk down to the dock. I just checked the radar. You can see all the dark clouds over here, and it said the rain is supposed to start in 7 minutes, and it does look like we're going to get some thunder and lightning and some pretty good rain, but hopefully it doesn't rain too hard. I did want a paddleboard, but I don't think it's worth taking all the paddle boards and stuff out if it's just going to rain pretty soon. They've got a nice little beach here as well. It's not open today, but it looks pretty good. It looks like the water's clear even from here. You're not allowed to sunbathe here. What'd you find?
I found a fish hook.
It's not good. It's a small one, but it's a good thing Koko didn't step on it.
Yeah, I think that this like white thing down here.
Yeah, usually.
Fishing line.
There's a lot of small fish right here under the dock. You can see the rain coming, and we might miss it for now, but we're definitely going to get that big patch in like a couple minutes or so. I think this is the dam that we're walking up right now. Well, this is really pretty. We've got a better view of the lake from here. I feel like the wind is picking up as well. We're going to go back over this way and check out the walking trails over there too. I just saw a sign, and this trail is called the Tomahawk Trail, and I do think it goes around the whole lake. And you can see there's a staircase leading down to the water over there. And then I think that's like the drainage for the dam over on that hill. The rain seems to be picking up, so we're heading back to the car. We decided that we're gonna drive back to downtown Luray. We were there earlier, and we're probably either just gonna hang out in the spot we're gonna camp tonight, or we're gonna go to this place called the Hawksbill Brewery, which is still close by to the visitor center, which is where we plan on staying. We just got to the visitor center. It's right here. We're in the gravel lot on this side. I found this spot on iOverlander. If you look down here, there's also a van that just pulled in at the same time. And now the van people came over here as well. And I read that this is an active train track, so I wouldn't be surprised if a train comes through in the night. The other van left. We were considering going to the Hawksbill Brewing Company, which is like walkable distance from here, but I don't think we're going to do that tonight. It's about 6 p.m. We've got both fans going and both windows open, and it is 75.9 degrees outside and 76.8 degrees inside. So hopefully it'll cool down a little bit with everything open. For dinner, we're going to be making a steak, and I've already got it in the pan. And we're also going to be having fresh Brussels sprouts that Kate's cutting the ends off now. And then we're also going to be making this carrot and sweet potato frozen vegetable mix because it's been in the bottom of our freezer for the last few days. I think everything is going to be really good. I've got this window open completely. We still got this fan going. The Brussels sprouts look good. And we also have this little cheese and leftover fruit plate from earlier. Koko, you don't look very comfortable, and I'm surprised you're not freaking out at the steak cooking. The steaks look done to me, and the van is back. We have our stuff organized in here with little bins. I like our little spice bin. It just makes it easier.
This looks really good.
Yeah, it does. I hope it is good. I feel like I had to cook the steak for a long time because of how thick it is. Those people in the van just left for the second time. I'm not sure where they're going, and it looks like the rain has stopped, so we'll have to walk after dinner. I thought we were done with rain. It did stop at one point, but now it's raining a little bit again. You can see there's now another van down that way. This really is a nice visitor center. It's actually an old train station. You can see the tracks that are still being used over there, but there's actually another set of tracks right here that obviously are no longer being used. Let's see how much of the camper you can see from the road. You can definitely still see it, but this is definitely more of a hill than it looks on camera. The train did just come through again when I was emptying the garbage, and it is loud, so I'm pretty sure we're going to get woken up in the night at some point. I don't think we're going to be doing anything else exciting today. Just hanging out in here and then going to bed, so I will see you tomorrow. Hey guys, it's the next morning. It's probably about 10:30 now. Kate's been working from this coffee shop in downtown Luray. Koko's hanging out in the car right now. I just took her on a walk, and I think in about 30 minutes we're gonna leave and head towards the Thornton Gap entrance of Shenandoah National Park. But first, I'm gonna walk to this little outdoor store that's up on this corner right here. I had this Monday and Tuesday off, but I'll have to work for the rest of the week. So later today, we wanna go on a couple hikes together and see a lot of the overlooks in Shenandoah. It's gonna be Kate's first time going there, but Koko and I went 3 years ago. That was a nice store. It's actually called Appalachian Trail Outfitters. I was going to buy a couple different Darn Tough socks, but they didn't have my size. That's the back of the coffee shop, and Kate actually worked outside on that little patio yesterday. Well, this is a very pretty walkway. Koko and I walked down a little bit, and it's definitely getting hot out. I think it's a little after 11 a.m. now, and I'm gonna go get Kate, and we're gonna head into the national park. And here we go. Here's our left turn to get onto Skyline Drive. Every year we buy the national park pass for the year, and ours expired, so I'm gonna be buying it now. We just got some good news. Big Meadows Campground is actually open. I didn't think it was gonna be open yet for the season, and the sign said it had vacancy. That's still like 20 miles south of here. I think the first things we're gonna do are just see some overlooks and try to do this hike called Mary's Rock. We're just walking up to the Mary's Rock trailhead. It's 11:55. We parked in the shade and Koko's in the camper. This should be 3.4 miles round trip and take about 2 hours and 15 minutes. And I think we'll have a good view at the top. Kate got this little running backpack, which has a small hydration bladder and a little pocket in it, just enough for your keys and phone. And I wish I had my hydration bladder because I've got my 32-ounce water bottle and my keys in my pocket. We're trying to hike up pretty quickly because I want to leave Koko in the truck camper unattended for as little time as possible. It's very green and it's very pretty, and I'll see you when we get to the top. Cool, it looks like we're here. This really is a good view.
Yeah, it is.
That must be the Mary's Rock behind you. Now we're going to the top of the rock. I definitely feel like I need to put on some sunscreen. It's cool how we're right near the clouds. It's really nice up here. It's kind of buggy with flies. Took us a little less than an hour, and we definitely recommend this hike. Koko, your water is spilt. How are you doing? I was worried about it being kind of hot in here for Koko, but it's really not bad in here at all with both fans going. We're finally having a little lunch, and Koko definitely wants some. You can't have any, Koko. Sorry. Now we're back on Skyline Drive. We're about 40 minutes north of Big Meadows Campground currently, and we're just going to slowly make our way there and see what there is to see. We've got our first tunnel, and it says the clearance is 12.8, so we'll be good here. Koko, I think you're going to stay in the car for this one. I just did a quick stop at an overlook. This is Hazel Mountain Overlook, and the elevation is 2,770 feet, and I think there's a good view over here. It's a good view. I feel like it's a good overlook, but I know that there's better ones.
Yeah, it's pretty.
We just stopped at the next overlook, and I believe this one is called the Pentacles Overlook. Elevation is 3,320 feet, and I really like this mountain view looking over this way. We're now only 15 minutes away from Big Meadows Campground. I think that whole area is like the middle of Shenandoah. It's kind of like a long and narrow national park. There's also a visitor center there. And coming up on one of these overlooks, when I was here 3 years ago, I had my older 4Runner, and I took a really nice photo looking out over the mountains with the rock wall behind us, and I'll put that in here so you can see it. Here we are approaching Big Meadows, the visitor center. We're definitely going to check out first. I think the campground is down the road a little bit more, but we're turning in here for now. I like this metal sign. We're heading into the campground now to try to get a site. We shouldn't have any issues since it's midweek, and they do have a little store here and a gas station, and the gas was only $3.58, which isn't too bad for where we are.
We checked into our campground and we're site C127, and now we're stopping at the wayside to get some change so we could take showers later because we don't have any small bills.
The showers are $5 per 10 minutes. So this is the Big Meadows Wayside, and this is definitely a thru hiker's dream. All these food options with fresh wraps and even wine and beer. We got some change for the showers at the store as well as a few drinks. Now we're gonna go check out this area down here and take a picture with the Big Meadows sign. Koko's excited to be out of the car. We just saw some people that had little tags on their backpacks indicating that they were thru hiking, and they're probably gonna be checking out the store and staying at Big Meadows tonight as well. Kate wants to chat with someone that's doing the Appalachian Trail.
I think it's crazy. It's definitely like an extreme challenge type thing to be doing.
Yeah, I don't think I could do it. I think I would get bored of hiking for too long, and I would think about all those days where it just rains for a couple days in a row and it just doesn't sound like fun. This is a really pretty field.
Yeah, it is nice.
I feel like
it feels a little cooler here too, which is good because I feel like it was really humid on our hike.
Yeah, it definitely is a little cooler here, but I feel like it's still buggy. I think at this point we're just gonna go hang out at our campsite, maybe play a game and take showers and make dinner and just have a nice evening. We're this way, but we're gonna drive around the camp campground, or at least this loop first for a little bit. It seems like there's a good amount of people here for how early it is in the season. I think they just opened like last week, but it's definitely not full at all. And there's some people sleeping in hammocks to our right. These little campers are neat. I like their bike rack and how it's mounted up high. Before we got the truck camper, we were considering buying a little camper like that. We were looking at one called the Little Guy Mini Max. I always thought these Nissan NV vans were a good option that was cheap and reliable if you wanted to do your own van conversion and didn't want a Dodge or Mercedes. But I did recently learn that they got discontinued like 2 years ago. Come on out, Koko. Good girl. Koko's so funny. She was on the towel and then she just moved off of it to get onto the pavement. After a few minutes, the bugs found us, and this is my first time putting on bug spray for the season. Since we're just hanging out at the campground for the evening, Kate decided to do a little bit of work, and we don't have any service here, so we just got out and reactivated our Starlink. A minute ago, it was moving around, and so far, so good. So here's our battery monitor screen right here. You can see we have this fan running. We're currently pulling 62, 61 watts between the Starlink and inverter with this fan. Let me turn this fan off. So that's just for this thing to power the Starlink. With changing a few things around and getting different components, there is a way to make Starlink run off of 12 volt directly. It involves not using the stock router that comes with the Starlink and getting a few different adapters and things. But we just didn't do that because we haven't used Starlink that much. But it would definitely be more efficient if we did that. There's also a few people that I follow online that have a Starlink on a flat mount on the roof. You kind of have to cut your Starlink dish apart, but then there is no setup once you get to your campsite, as long as you're in an area that is not tree covered. We only have 3 pieces of firewood, and we didn't buy any more wood when we checked into this campsite. And I've collected some down wood, and now I'm just over here looking around for a little bit more. I'm probably not supposed to be collecting any down wood because I think that's a rule at some national park campgrounds, but not all of them. There's a little pathway over to that site. There's really not too much here. It's pretty picked over. This is a nice site if you had a ground tent. There's a lot of options and a lot of flat spots to put it. Before I start the fire, I'm going to show you what we're having for dinner. And we're having burgers with a salad and leftover vegetables that we made yesterday. And I'm going to be cooking it outside on this little MSR stove on top of this little fuel container. I'm really glad that we've brought this little stove with us. I think I've used it 3 or 4 times now. I just came in the camper and started vegetables in here so that the vegetables and the burgers are ready at the same time. I think the burgers are done. Cheers. I feel like I haven't had a Caesar salad in a long time. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
Dinner was good. We're about to have a fire. We just got everything cleaned up. But first, we're going to go on a little walk around the campground. I think we're just going to enjoy our walk. I'll film if we see any cool camping setups, and I'll see you later when we're back around our fire. We just got back from our walk. I think we went around all the loops, and now it's time to have a fire. I just added some more wood to the fire. It's turning out to be a really nice night. After this, we're going to shower and then head off to bed. We checked out the showers earlier and they are very nice. And that's it for today, and we'll see you tomorrow. Hey, good morning. I'm just checking in. It's probably about 9 o'clock and we got up an hour and a half ago. Kate is actually on a meeting currently. She's outside with Koko at the picnic table, and I'm at the table in here working. We plan on working until like midday today and then moving spots. and then finishing out working the rest of the afternoon. So kind of a very low-key day. Maybe we'll have time to go on a short hike at lunchtime, but for the most part, we're just gonna focus on working, and I'll check in later on today. If you bring your laptop camping or work remotely, I'd recommend getting one of these chargers, and it is a laptop car charger that has a USB-C cable, and it's just really helpful to be able to charge the laptop through our 12-volt setup without needing to go through the inverter. It's our lunch break now, and we actually decided to drive down the road a little bit from Big Meadows Campground, and we're doing this short hike called Dark Hollow Falls, I believe, and it's 0.7 out and 0.7 back, so it shouldn't be too long. And then I think we're going to go back to Big Meadows Visitor Center and continue our work day from there. For some reason, you're not allowed to bring dogs on this hike, so it was a good thing we didn't try to bring Koko. I think we're there. The falls are on the right down here. We just got our picture taken on the rock up here, and it's a pretty good looking waterfall. Well, this is really nice. I definitely recommend it. It was basically all downhill here, and I feel like it only took us 20 or 25 minutes. And I'm glad we are visiting in the spring, because I bet later in the summer there won't be as much water here. It keeps going a little bit, and I bet this is a good swimming hole right here if it's deep enough. Well, that was a nice little hike. It's definitely hot out. I'm glad we did it. It wasn't too hard. It's basically all uphill on the way back. Once we get back to the truck camper, we're going to finish out our work day. I think we're going to see more overlooks and do another hike after work, and I will check in with you then. It's a little after 4 p.m. now. We finished up our work day at the parking lot for the Big Meadows Wayside, and we're going to head south now. We might do a hike called Turk Mountain, but if not, we're just gonna see some overlooks and head towards Waynesboro, because that's where our harvest host is for tonight. Right as we were leaving, this other Tundra pulled in with a truck camper. This is a Crewmax Tundra with a pop-up North Star truck camper. And I think the rack on the front is cool. I wanna get a front hitch just like that, so we can have our 2-tray bike rack on the front. We just stopped at another overlook because we remembered that we never took a photo of all of us here. So we're doing that now, and Kate just wanted to try out her handstand abilities. Kind of did one. Well, I think we got some good photos. We took a few. The view from this overlook is pretty good, and now we're just going to continue driving south on Skyline Drive. We just got to our harvest host. It's called 7 Arrows Brewing. We're parked in the corner, and it looks really nice. We have a lot of outdoor seating. It's 80 degrees and sunny here, and I'm just trying to get Koko to eat before we go in. What? It smells really good from here. Cheers. Try number 9, and I want to see how you like it.
Okay. Oh, it's pretty good. I feel like it's definitely like, I don't know if I would drink like a whole beer of this, but it's pretty good.
Number 9 is their most hazy IPA, and it's definitely my favorite, although I do really like their red ale. We also ordered this pierogi basket, and they look different than I was expecting, but they look really good.
This pierogi place in Connecticut, which is where I'm from, and it's called the Rogi Shop, and the pierogis there are like definitely the best ones I've had though.
We would definitely recommend this Harvest Host. The prices weren't too expensive or anything, and I feel like there is decent parking if you had like a longer vehicle. We're just going to be walking Koko and making dinner after this, so I think that's pretty much it for this video, and we'll see you next time.